All right, we are live for the morning check-in, and wanted to connect with you guys and to just share with you some things that really caught my attention that kind of have gotten swept under the radar in reference to where this monetary system is going, and how, despite all the, I guess the advocates slash the enthusiasts about some type of disruptive system coming, it looks like we're heading directly to where things were always meant to go, and it's already digital in nature, but even more digital. So, got an interesting headline I want to share with you, as well as a couple other stories. And looking forward to checking in. It's been a minute since I've checked in via the morning check-in on YouTube, and so hopefully everything is flowing smoothly. For those that are plugged in, let me know if I'm coming in loud and clear, so that I'm not speaking to myself. So if you guys don't mind in the chat, let me know if the audio is good, so that everything can flow smoothly. And I can get to these headlines here. I have maybe, let me see, I got 10 to 12 tabs open, all relevant information into the monetary system and everything in between. And so I hope everyone's doing well. Hope your day is off to a good start. And should be a good day. Good day, to say the least. And yeah, it's going to be good, man. So anyway, so let me know in the chat with a thumbs up or two if you guys can hear me. Want to make sure everything is flowing before I begin my little rants, because I would hate to be ranting and talking to myself. So Joe says loud and clear. Appreciate you, my good man. And also, for those that are tuning in, let me know where you're watching from. And also, I want to make this somewhat interactive. So let me know in the chat, I guess, what are some things you're keeping your eyes on? Because there's dozens of stories, dozens of headlines. I'm just focusing this morning on what caught my attention and go from there. So let me exit out of a couple of tabs here. Got too many tabs open. And then I'll jump right in. Sounds good. All right. Appreciate you guys, man. All right. And also, for those that are coming in, if you don't mind, hit that thumbs up button. Show your support for the channel. Hopefully that helps the algorithms a little bit. Even though, I've been, just, rethinking, reconsidering, YouTube in general, man. Just after having suffered a 7-day timeout for having a guest on that was just very opinionated, kind of rubbed me wrong. And that's why, on Rumble, I'm very grateful that got a growing community over there as well. So if you guys are not on Rumble, go check out the channel there, because as of now, it's uncensored. And I appreciate being able to somewhat speak freely without being conscious of my words, because I always got to dumb things down. And it's just unfortunate, but it is what it is. So, all right. Hope everyone is doing well. All right. So before I move forward, B-Rod, how you doing, man? Appreciate everybody's blessing me with your presence this morning. Yeah. Okay. So before I begin, got to make sure I always continue to bless those that bless me. And I want to definitely highlight the importance of really beginning to make some moves if you haven't already. I know you guys have, but you never know who might be new and they may not know what I'm talking about. And what I mean by talking about making moves is literally, taking things into your own hands. So as you guys see on the screen here, colonialsmetalsgroup.com, my partners that have been a blessing to the channel as far as helping provide you guys with alternatives and strategies and solutions. So if you have not, I'd encourage you to go to colonialsmetalsgroup.com/RTD or give them a call, as you can see the number on the screen here, and just ask questions about diversifying and reallocating your retirement portfolio. Once again, you get a chance to take physical possession of what you believe is yours in the form of gold and silver, as well as a variety of other instruments that are available to the program. So here you have just the questionnaire. Fill this out, and you'll be contacted by the experts. Ask questions in relevance to the self-directed IRA, and you will definitely come away well-informed on your options outside of the 60-40 that's pretty much done for you through either your employer or through whatever services they're using. So if you have not, I encourage you to check them out. Links in the description, and let them know Mike sent you, and you'll be better off than not. And then also, I just did a video a moment ago about, the whole gold situation in Russia. So I'm going to talk about that in a minute as well. But I want to continue to remind people of the silver team. And so the silver team literally is a way for people to take physical possession of their own. So as you can see on the screen here, the goal is to help people actually get into the silver business. And so you can auto ship your silver monthly with as little as 1 ounce a month. But then again, as becoming a part of the program, you can help other people do that. You can earn in cash and then take that cash and buy more silver. And so ultimately, it turns out to be a very good deal for those that are entrepreneurial in nature. And so as you can see on the screen here, just many people in the program that are actually taking possession of their wealth 1 ounce at a time. And so I know I got a lot of heavy stackers out there, but if you are beginning or seasoned, it doesn't matter. Allocating something small adds up over time. I personally, myself, I do the big boy pack just because, I like to get my weight up whenever I can. And this is just one of many ways that I do it. So got a couple other things I'm working on as well. So if you guys are interested, links in the description, check it out. And, I'll contact you directly and you work with me and we'll make things happen. So, all right, just a little something there on the front. But what really concerns me is this continual push to go digital. And a lot of people don't seem to, call out these administrations. And so, former President Trump ran on the fact, I haven't mentioned it in a while, but he's anti-CBDC and he's pro-Bitcoin. He's pro-whatever will get the vote so he can get in the office. Okay. And then, of course, we know that Biden/Harris regime, they also are very pro-CBDC, i.e. the executive order that was signed to begin the research and development of CBDCs. And we talked about that before. So we all know that they got 3 projects that are being worked on now. They're ready to be rolled out, just need some type of catalyst. And so literally nothing's going to change on either side of the aisle. And so the reason I mention this because people don't seem to really want to talk about it. Like, because the focus is solely on the political matters at heart. The left versus right, Republican versus Democrat, and the narratives that they give us. But then again, look at what they're both saying and just be neutral. Be willing to just call a spade and say, hey, one may portray itself better than the other, but we're still heading in the same direction. The left wing, right wing of the same bird still goes straight. And so once again, I just trying to highlight how everything is not always what it seems. And so literally nothing has changed in reference to how the monetary system is shifting solely digital or a rebranded version of digital. We're already overly dominated now with the digital world. But then again, it's just done differently. Right now, it's commercially done through the banking sector. So we have digital Federal Reserve coins already. And so like I mentioned in a rant yesterday, about having to be very clear and distinctive with my wording, because we're at the point now where we're in the midst of a currency crisis. Not only what's happening in Argentina and every country in the world, but gold as the anchor is determining that all fiat currencies are underperforming. So the Federal Reserve note is underperforming, yet the gold dollar is doing well. And the silver dollar is doing well. They're holding their own because they're monetary constants. And so the Federal Reserve note is underperforming right now. And so all they're looking to do is rebrand it into something else and eventually go solely digital. And so what really rubbed me wrong this morning is this article I'm going to share right here. Let me get it on the screen here. So I'm going to start off with this article here because I'm thinking like this to me will be somewhat problematic because people are losing funds, and they're losing funds because there's a current presidential candidate that is for and backing something that is causing losses. And so here with just, President Trump and this world financial exchange that's focusing on stable coins is a problem. And so look, said thousands of Trump followers tricked by scammers targeting his new crypto project. And so he himself has not openly come out and just said, this is my baby, this is our project, but his family's doing it. His sons are doing it. So clearly he knows because his sons had to get permission in order to go this route. And so even when Trump visited the Bitcoin conference a couple of weeks ago, he was all hunky-dory talking about stable coins and the need for stable coins. And so the question is, if you just zoom out, what's the difference between CBDCs and stable coins? They're one and the same in a sense. They're centrally controlled, easily manipulable, programmable software that has an entry and an exit that's controlled by the banking sector. And so if Trump is wanting a stable coin to reassure the dollar supremacy, as I'm about to show you, who's going to be the overseer of these stable coins? It'll end up being the commercial banks in collaboration with the Treasury or whatever else, but they'll still have eyes and ears on everything you do via the ledger. Not to the extent of a CBDC where they can actually see verbatim your shopping cart items after you check out. But with a stable coin, we witnessed Tether and USDC, the two head honchos. they've already frozen whitelisted accounts and locked up people's dollar coins from moving if they find suspicious activity. So one and the same, different narratives. But then again, if you call out this narrative, I'm looked at, Trump hater. I got to be neutral. I got to give you both sides, people. So just be conscious of that. So that's my whole point. But real quick, let's dive into this. And I got a couple other articles. Won't spend much time here because at the end of the day, none of this matters in the sense that it's going to really impact people's decisions because, when you believe you're only given two choices, you got to pick one. Yeah. So anyway, thousands of Trump followers tricked by scammers targeting his new crypto project. So what's actually going on here? 70,000 people, man. To me, that's unacceptable because at this current moment, his kids that are running this project, they could have waited. They could have waited till Daddy got back in office, or if Daddy didn't get in office, they still gonna get bread. The Trump family not gonna be hurting. They're gonna be better off than they came in like every other presidential candidate, even though he's taking some losses. But like I always say, they ain't took away his bank account, so he's still good. Okay, real quick here, give you some detail. It says a new crypto project promoted by Donald Trump has been hijacked by scammers who have lured tens of thousands of people to a group promising fake cryptocurrency giveaways. The Trump-backed World Liberty financial platform has attracted more than 230,000 subscribers. So I just got a lot of issues here. So as a part of his fundraising efforts, I'm following people of all walks of life just because I have to, stay in tune with things. And, one of the things that really troubled me amongst many is a part of the fundraising narrative. He already came out with a, NFT, Trump NFT. He got Ethereum. He already came out with some meme coins, and he has, his people and the staff have created all types of memorabilia and keepsakes. And, they got 4 or 5 different editions of shoes and shirts and hats, and it's turning into a big publicity fanfare where from a business standpoint, you're leveraging your platform. I understand that, get all you can while you can, but people are so convinced that there's only one way to save this country that it has to go through an individual or else, therein lies the problem. It's 300 million ants. And we're focusing on a dozen crickets. For my people who know the ant movie, you know what I'm talking about. And so once we realize who we are and what we're capable of, I think we can have a lot more power than they would ever want us to find out. But unfortunately, we won't find that out. And so it is what it is. But it's just, I just got issues. Let me dial down some. Okay, I'm not going to go on all this rant, but just want to shoot it straight. Okay, so real quick. 230,000 subscribers is official Telegram channel since launching last month, despite offering no information about the project beyond the promises to challenge the dominance of global banks. So here we have Trump Jr. and the party talking about challenging the dominance of big banks when stablecoins are operating with and through the gateways of our financial system, because you got to go out of dollars into stable coins, into crypto, and then back around. So it's one big circle of events that is centered around the banks. So how exactly will you take your Federal Reserve notes, convert them to a USD stablecoin to do activity with them unless you go through a bank? So it's to be determined, because as of right now, this is all you get for the website. It just says more information coming. But it's World Liberty Financial, be defiant. And so I mentioned this a while ago, but you may not have heard this. I don't know where I said this at, but how defiant are you really when you're going in the same direction that we're being steered towards? Like here's something that would have really popped off if Trump Jr. or his sons would have came out with some type of gold stable coin or gold depository linked to some type of blockchain project, redeemable 1-for-1. That's defiant, because right now gold at all-time highs, federal fiat notes failing all around the world. That will be somewhat defiant. But to try to prolong the life of something dying and call it stable is not necessarily all that defiant. But Who am I? I don't know much. Okay. But real quick here, just I'm gonna get off of this, and then I got too many more stories to get at you. So share your thoughts and comments in the chat. Okay, so a rival China operated by criminals. Whenever the crypto stuff comes out, they got to be criminals in the intangible as well as in the tangible world. There's always a way to dupe somebody. Operated by cyber criminals, has managed to place ads on official channel in an attempt to profit from the hype surrounding the venture, drawing in more than 70,000 Telegram users. It says a channel associated with a scam called World Liberty Financial claims to offer up to $15,000 worth of cryptocurrency for anyone who connects their crypto wallet, according to the Post, the Independent. So literally, they're saying if you connect your wallet, transact through their exchange, because they're positioning this as an exchange that allows them to use stablecoins to interact, go around the banking sector. So there are no details out here, so it's real raw. So it's easy for people to believe whatever they're given and do it. Ooh, excuse me, I gotta sneeze. It says such an action would expose any funds within a wallet, but it is not clear. Bless me. But it is not clear how many subscribers have fallen victim to the scam. So, to celebrate passing 100,000 subscribers, World Financial launched an epic meme contest that saw hundreds of entrants share images, GIFs, and video promoting Mr. Trump and his bid. It says Mr. Trump has described himself as a crypto president in recent months, promising to create a national Bitcoin stockpile. And so, once again, you got thousands of people who have been hacked or harmed due to the fact that we are in a digital world where crypto's subject matter is hot, and why not profit off of it? And so that's, whatever, we'll see. But here is something that really should get people to wonder. Okay. And so my whole premise of this is that as of right now, a part of the Trump platform is that central bank digital currencies very dangerous after vowing to prohibit Fed's digital dollar. And so that's the one narrative, because Biden is a pro CBDC guy. Everything's been set up CBDC. Every other country on the planet is doing a CBDC, and somehow the U.S. is not going to. Okay. So Trump said no CBDCs. Okay, sure. And so a centrally controlled central bank issued coin, no. However, Trump crypto project aims to maintain U.S. dollar supremacy with stablecoins. And so there you have stablecoins, central bank digital currencies, one of the same nature, controlled probably from two different sources, but still controlled by entities that want to have a solely digital version of our currency anyway. And so just something that people don't seem to want to talk about. So let me just read a couple things here, because I don't quite how we're going to maintain dollar supremacy when we have everybody and mother running the gold and the Federal Reserve note is failing in real time. But we'll do the best we can. It says here, team behind World Financial Scam project by the Trump family said Wednesday that the DeFi platform aims to maintain global U.S. dollar supremacy through the use of stablecoins. And so, once again, giving people globally access to the dollar system through stablecoin is just a rebranded version of what we already have. And whoever the controlling forces that will be behind this, it'll probably be linked directly to the Treasury in a way to support our government indebtedness by taking dollar representations, tokenizing them to purchase government bonds, because they're going to issue 4, 5, 6 trillion in the next couple weeks, months. And so you issue stable coins to help fund some of that liquidity. It's just another way of keeping the same system going. It's not necessarily dollar supremacy, because we're witnessing nations move away from the dollar through the whole de-dollarization process. So I see the narrative, but it doesn't make sense. But to the untrained eye, you can see how people could fall for things such as this. Okay. And so just go ahead and say, our mission is crystal clear. Make crypto and America great by driving mass adoption of stable coins and decentralized finance. The World Liberty Financial says we want U.S. peg stable coins to remain the world's settlement layer for the next 100 years. So that's a statement put out by the World Liberty Financial, which is the Trump-backed exchange, crypto, whatever it's going to be called. But they want the US peg stablecoin to remain world settlement layer for the next. And here's another thing. Just look at the wording. World's settlement layer. And so, as of right now, the world's settlement layer happens to be the SWIFT system. So, in order for them to accomplish this, they have to be interconnected with the SWIFT system in some capacity. And then you have the individuals in the crowd. I haven't checked the chat, but I know they're there. The ISO 20122 crowd of the cryptocurrencies in the quantum financial system that is being set up to, empower the world through XRP and Stellar and you name it. Okay, that's nothing new. This was a part of their plan from day one. And the fact that doesn't bother people, it doesn't surprise me now, because if you stand the slightest chance of profiting off of this transition, I guess you'll be a fool not to play along there with their games. But at some point, when the curtains are open and we realize that the same people who are the spokesmen are the same people who were paid activists behind the scenes to promote this stuff, and that they were doing it with the bank's permission, it's going to taste very bitter in a lot of people's mouths. But between now and then, I guess get what you got to get out the system. Okay. But last point here. And so with this World Liberty Financial, with their motto of being defiant, they're wanting to keep the same dollar system that's crumbling in real time relevant. At the same time, the world has already made plans to do otherwise, i.e., let me just remind you of what that is. As of right now, let me just refresh this page so people can see what I see when I see it. As of right now, gold is $2,500 and it's in the green. So to me, that lets me know that regardless of what is planned, the world has already spoken. Gold is that head honcho. And the banks have a 2-point-something quadrillion reasons why they don't want silver to tell that same story, because it's going to be a problem. And so gold is telling a different story than what's coming out of the Western Hemisphere. Okay. But then again, you guys knew that. Now let's look at what may not turn out to be pretty. The yield curve returns to normal. So the inverted yield curve that everybody's been talking about for the last 2 years apparently has uninverted. And when it uninverts, usually all hell breaks loose, relatively speaking. And I got some stats and graphs out here, but I'm going to save you that. But bond market yield curve returns to normal from inverted state that had raised recession fears. And so we're going to now be in a ballpark where volatility will increase rapidly, in my opinion, because we've already seen all the other fraudulent measures that's used to determine health of the economy be revised downward. Unemployment, labor market, ADP, whatever. The ISM just came out, above expectations, but as always, it's going to be revised down. And so now it's just a matter of okay, between now and then, waiting for that event, because the events, they're already probably happening, but they're small in nature now. And it has everything to do with behind the scenes of what's happening within the banking system. We know how much they're underwater in reference to the amount of losses they're taking due to those underperforming government liabilities they're holding on to. And so the regional banks are crumbling. Commercial real estate, the video I did the other day, $1.5 trillion is due in the next couple of months. There's no way around that. Government debt, interest payments on government debt. So yeah, so we see the things that's being laid out. So once again, it's going to be hard for, the manipulation when it comes to gold and silver to remain something that is not noticeable. So as you can see here, the markets open up at a relatively higher price, and then within the first couple of minutes, it's corrected until it can't be done anymore. So once again, beyond just highlighting the lies from the mainstream, the action steps follow each and every individual to do small things in a variety of sectors and sectors of your life to provide some cushion between reality and what's coming. Because we're in this time right now where things are starting to unravel faster, and it's going to be hard to hide those lies. And when the normies, the people who have no clue as to what's going on, realize what's happening, believe me, you personally will get a lot more questions from family, friends, and everything like that. And hopefully you're in the educational state of mind where you can share information with people, because you can reach 1 or 2 or 3 people before stuff completely unravels. That's better than not. Like, because you know better, it is your responsibility to make sure that the people you love and people closest to you at least are aware of what's going on. Because ultimately, those people, same people, will come to you when they need help. And so, yeah, act in love and treat other people like you want to be treated. Okay, let's keep it moving. I'm gonna just thump through some headline real quick here. Let me get here. So as I mentioned, we have ISM services PMI rises to 51.4, exceeding analyst expectations. And so it increased from 48.8 to 51.4. New orders index grew from 47.3 to 52.4. S&P Global Services PMI declined 55.5 to 55.0, and it's still above that 50 mark, which in and of itself, according to the way they use these metrics, show that, things are still favorable. But as always, we have, the PMI rising, which would signal somewhat of strength in the economy. We all know things aren't really all that hunky-dory. So you got to question how and why did they come up with these figures at this current moment. So stay tuned. Next month, they'll probably be revised down. And so what else we got here? This is another story in reference to the whole stablecoin narrative from the West that don't really matter, because Russia is selling oil for gold in September, and they're looking to accumulate a large amount. They're 700xing their amount of tonnage within 1 month. And you got to ask yourself, why? My personal opinion is that they literally either know something is about to break, or it's breaking now and they want to get ahead of the gold rush. And so literally within this month, heading into October, all the tremors happening in the legacy system, bonds, stocks, all the other instruments they created, might just be experiencing some of that downward momentum, because we're going to have more of those days like we did earlier with NVIDIA, just, boop, Apple, boop. And, just once again, who's buying Apples and iPhones and stuff like that right now? Like that. Nobody. Not many. But then again, everybody need a little insurance. And Russia's getting some insurance. So Russia's selling oil for gold in September. It says, according to the Russian news agency Interfax, the government will increase its gold purchases from 1.12 billion rubles per day to 8.2 billion rubles per day. That's 7 times the amount of rubles they're going to spend to get physical. They're not getting physical because they're bored. The report states that the finance ministry expects a significant oil and gas revenue of 162 billion rubles in September, a huge jump compared to 10.9 billion rubles generated in August. So literally, they're going to sell a lot of oil to get a lot of rubles to exchange those rubles for gold. So that model, just think about, you know how they say, don't just watch what they say, watch what they do. So this is what Russia is. This is what this article told me. They're going to produce more than they normally produce to sell, to get more revenue than they usually get, to take the revenue they get and then cycle it over and buy some and redeem those notes for money. Produce, recycle, buy gold. And so that activity there is what you guys are doing, I'm sure, is my point. And if you're not, yeah. But then again, this is only the financial side of things. It is not the end, the be all of everything, but it's just the financial side of things. You make sure you want to stay plugged in. And so here, this is what it looks like. I'm sorry, wrong graph. This is what Russia's accumulation looks like over the last, what's this, year? 2 years? So literally from Q3, they got 2.3 ton, 2001. Q3 of 2021, they got 2.3 tons. Think about tons. They buy tons. You know, we can only buy, a couple ounces, couple kilos, like they get tons. It's just amazing how central banks right now, governments are racing to the exit to get out of their own central bank liabilities. That's interesting. But, yeah. Anyway, so as you can see here, it's been increasing substantially over the last several quarters. They know something that the world don't know. And so 5 years, here's 10 years since the whole Crimea from 1.15 steadily increasing to now so my point is, by the time this is updated, this last bar here going to be up here somewhere. It's going to be off the chart. And you think they're going to stop there? And so the question we should ask ourselves is, what will that do to the price in USD terms? You think they're trying to deliberately bring in that $3,000 an ounce gold number? You think they would dare do that to the USA and hurt the Federal Reserve petrodollar system? You think they would do that to America? Rhetorical question. Okay. Last couple things here. Here's an interesting little graph here I saw here that was timely. Here we have U.S. ADP employment on 99,000. So one thing we can all see here, I'm sorry, let me get myself out the way here, is that since 21's peak, that was prime time for working at home. People took on 2 or 3 of the same jobs for the same company sector, and the surge of workers due to the influx of currency that was created to buy up all the Amazon stuff. And then all of a sudden, slowly but surely, they all start letting people go. So now we're trending downward, and employment is definitely trending downward. It's going to go a lot lower before it goes back up. So that's just something to be mindful of. And then what else we got here? Here is something, a little narrative that is interesting, to say the least. It says here, let me get it out of my way. It says, right-wing influencers were duped to work for covert Russian influence Operation USA. So if you guys didn't know, a couple of YouTubers, Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, and Benny Johnson, pretty popular conservative, libertarian type YouTubers, were flagged as Russian operatives by our government intelligence. So once again, because they are combative towards the narrative of the West, they call out the Western BS. They automatically got to work for Russia. And so as a result of this, we'll find out what happens. I mean, it definitely ruffles feathers, but their influence goes much further than Kamala Harris's influence does, because those 3 guys I mentioned, they're all pro-Trump guys. So they literally tell truth. And the truth, obviously, it hurts when you're trying to deceive the masses. And so as a result of that, it looks like, what's his name? Putin has come out publicly and backed Kamala Harris. And so once again, it goes against that. It goes against the Western own grain of, Russian interference, because typically they're saying he's interfering to help the opponent, which happens to be Trump. But if he comes out and endorses Harris, it's one of the things where, okay, I hope Harris wins, because at least I know what I get. We're going to get more of the same for sure. Whereas who wants to go back to having peace? Who wants to go back to not having wars? Who wants to go back to, having unity amongst nations? That's old. So I thought that was funny that he so-called endorsed Harris. But it just makes it hard for that. Russia's the enemy. Russia. Yeah, okay. Russia got their own internal problems as well. The Russian people might be a little bit better off in the short term, but then again, they under the same regime overall. CBDCs, mRNA stuffs, digital IDs, surveillance states, they under the same authority or same regime. So anyway, but these are just some things that caught my attention, man. It's never a dull moment in the world of information, i.e. propaganda. So you got to filter through it and figure out what sticks, what doesn't. And just question everything, believe nothing till you verify it for yourself. Learn, live, love, and laugh. Enjoy life while you still got it, and look for opportunities to be a blessing to other people. That's ultimately what it boils down to. Life is short for everybody. Let's make the most of it. So, reason I do all these news stories here just because, I won't get it from nowhere else outside of the alternative media. So I got to be that voice of reason to give people something to think about. You know what I'm saying? Like, just the fact that, we appear to only have two options don't mean that both of those options are going to be something that the world really will, really will be grateful for when we look back in the history books. We all know where this is heading. Just check the book of Revelations, like there will come a time where things will get very ugly. And I got a suspicion in my gut that they're going to get uglier before they get better. And as I mentioned before, even though Trump is out here, wanting a CBDC, wanting a CBDC alternative himself with, his stablecoin backing. Remember, he is one of the primary, figures that gave us the largest influx of cash at one time. Like, so, the events that happened under his watch, the response with the creation of 3-4 trillion, then Biden came in with another 2 trillion equals 6 trillion. That's a part of what came out of DC. So yeah, whether it was intentional or not, I'll let you guys focus on that. But remind you, this is where we're at as of today. As of today, everybody's suffering because of what these previous administrations have done to the world. Like, this is not a Republican or Democrat thing. This is a we the people versus the banking cartel. And as you can see, they're winning. And if Kamala Harris wins, this Federal Reserve note will be done away with. So she would make the 20th president. And look what all the Republicans and Democrats have done to this Federal Reserve note bill. 98 to 99% of your purchasing power gone. So one thing that's not on the ballot this November is more purchasing power in your pocket. So yeah, that's something I'm sure they won't be talking about during the debate. How can we get the American people more purchasing power? One wants a CBDC, the other wants a stablecoin. They're both still digital representations of nothing. So once again, if you know better, you do better. With that, my friends, be blessed, be safe. If you've enjoyed this, hit that thumbs up button, show your love for the channel, take this, share it so more people can find out what's going on. And once again, my goal is just to educate, inform, and to edify those that are awake and aware. So appreciate you guys. Love you. Be blessed. And for those who are interested, all the resources you need, all the socials is down below. Join us on Telegram and stuff like that, and you'll be better off than not. So, all right, let's keep it going. Peace.